Are you ready to transform the way you start your language classes? Say goodbye to the same old routines and hello to 5 unique and engaging warm-up activities that will not only captivate your students, but also enhance their language skills from the get-go. Let's dive in and kickstart your class with a burst of creativity and fun. My name is Scott, and you're watching Immediate Immersion, where we're all about comprehension-based instruction in the modern language classroom. We'll be right back. Word web storytelling is such a fantastic tool for the language classroom. It's simple, yet incredibly effective in getting students to think creatively and practice their language skills. Starting with just one random word on the board, like dog, the possibilities begin to unfold as each student contributes another word. This collaborative effort results in a web of words, each a stepping stone to a unique story crafted in the target language. Imagine this. One student adds park, another says running, and someone else throws in yesterday. Suddenly, you have the makings of a story about a dog running in the park yesterday. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Depending on your students' skill levels, you can scale the complexity. For beginners, maybe they string together simple sentences to tell this story. But for your more advanced students, challenge them to use specific tenses or complex sentence structures. Perhaps they could describe the park scene using past continuous tense or add descriptive adjectives to bring their stories to life. This activity isn't just about stringing words together, it's a gateway to exploring grammar, vocabulary, and even cultural references in context. And the best part? It's so adaptable. You can tailor it to any topic or grammar point you're covering. If you're working on food vocabulary, start with pizza and see where your students take it. Discussing travel? Kick off with airplane and watch their imagination soar. For a quick win, try integrating visuals. Maybe have a student draw the story as it develops, adding an element of visual learning. This not only makes the activity more engaging, but also helps visual learners better grasp the language. So, give word web storytelling a try in your next class. It's a surefire way to inject some creativity into your lesson and see your students engage with the language in a fun and meaningful way. Plus, who doesn't love a good story? Language Pictionary with a twist really takes the classic game of Pictionary and turns it into a powerhouse tool for language learning, especially when it comes to those tricky idiomatic expressions and non-literal phrases. It's a surefire way to get students thinking outside the box and diving deep into the nuances of the target language. Let's say you're teaching Spanish and you want to introduce the phrase "estoy en las nubes," which means I'm daydreaming, or literally, I'm in the clouds. Imagine a student trying to draw this out without using words. Maybe they sketch someone with their head in a cloud. The rest of the class would have a blast guessing what it represents. Once someone figures it out, it sparks a fantastic conversation about how the phrase is used, its literal translation versus its idiomatic meaning, and how it compares to similar expressions in their native language or other languages they might know. This activity is great because it challenges students to think about language visually and contextually. You could take it further by grouping expressions thematically. For example, have a day focused on weather-related idioms. Students could draw pictures for phrases like hace un frío que pela, it's freezing cold, or está lloviendo a cántaros, it's raining cats and dogs. For a quick win, consider pairing students up. One draws while the other guesses. This encourages collaboration and takes the pressure off those who might be shy about drawing in front of the whole class. Also, why not throw in a competitive element? Keep score of which teams guess correctly and reward them with something simple like getting to choose the next set of phrases to draw. Incorporating Language Pictionary with a twist into your class is a creative way to tackle the often challenging aspect of idiomatic expressions. It's not just about learning the language, it's about engaging with it in a fun, interactive way that respects its cultural context. Linguistic bingo is one of those activities that's not only fun, but also incredibly effective for reinforcing vocabulary. It's like your regular game of bingo, but with a language learning twist. Creating bingo cards with common phrases or words in the target language turns this into a dynamic classroom tool. When you call out the translations in English, it challenges students to quickly recall and find the corresponding word or phrase in the target language. It's a great way to make vocabulary review lively and competitive. For instance, if you're focusing on travel-themed lesson, your bingo cards could feature words like airport, ticket, luggage, and so on. As you call out the words in English, students get to practice their translation skills and race to complete a line on their bingo card. It's a simple yet effective way to keep everyone engaged and on their toes. To give you a quick win, you can easily adapt the game to whatever you're teaching at the moment. Working on food vocabulary? Have apple, bread, and chicken on your bingo cards. Covering daily routines? Include phrases like wake up, go to school, and do homework. The possibilities are endless. Another strategy for success is to mix things up a bit. Instead of just words, include some pictures on the bingo cards for the less commonly used words. This can help visual learners and make the game more inclusive. You could even have a round where students have to say the word in the target language when they mark it on their bingo card, adding a speaking component to the game. Linguistic bingo isn't just about learning new words, it's about engaging with the language in a fun, interactive way that caters to different learning styles. Plus, the excitement of being the first to shout bingo in another language, that's a thrill that really can boost a student's confidence and enthusiasm for learning. Musical language chairs, now there's a creative twist on the classic game that brings a whole new level of fun and learning to the language classroom. It's the perfect way to merge physical movement with language practice, which is a big win, especially for those kinesthetic learners who love to stay active. Here's the gist. We place sentences in the target language on the chairs. These could range from everyday phrases to excerpts from a text you're currently studying. As the music plays, students move around the chairs, and when it stops, everyone quickly finds a seat and reads the sentence on their chair. The twist? They also have to translate it. This not only helps with reading comprehension, but also with translation skills and fluency. Let's say you're teaching Spanish and you're focusing on daily activities. You could have sentences like, me gusta leer antes de dormir. I like to read before sleeping. Or, voy al gimnasio después del trabajo. I go to the gym after work. Students get a little rush from the game, plus they're practicing their language skills in a dynamic and engaging way. For a quick win with this activity, you can vary the complexity of the sentences based on your students' levels. Beginners might have simple, straightforward sentences, while more advanced learners could tackle complex structures or idiomatic expressions. This ensures that everyone is challenged appropriately and stays engaged with the game. Another strategy is to follow up the game with a quick discussion. Ask students how they might use the sentence they landed on in a real-life conversation. This not only reinforces the learning, but also encourages them to think about practical applications of the language. Musical language chairs is more than just a game, it's an active, fun, and effective way to bring language learning to life. It brings the monotony of traditional classroom activities and injects a dose of excitement into your lesson plan. Plus, it's a fantastic way to get those endorphins flowing and create a positive, energetic learning environment. Have you ever felt like your classroom could use a bit of a boost? Maybe you're looking for ways to engage your students more effectively, or you're seeking fresh strategies to maintain a dynamic and productive classroom environment. If that sounds like you, then our Dynamic Discipline course is just what you need. This isn't just any course, it's a comprehensive 10-part journey designed to revolutionize the way you approach classroom management and student engagement. We're talking about out-of-the-box strategies and straightforward action steps that you can implement right away. And the best part? These techniques are proven to succeed, making your teaching experience more enjoyable and impactful than ever before. So are you ready to transform your classroom and see amazing results? Check out our Dynamic Discipline course at mm.us/discipline. Trust me, you don't want to miss this opportunity to elevate your teaching game. Role-play roulette is such a dynamic and interactive way to get students speaking spontaneously in the target language. The beauty of this activity lies in the unpredictability and the creative freedom it offers to students. Imagine this. You have a deck of cards, each depicting a different character or scenario. One card might show a lost tourist, another a local shopkeeper, a doctor, a student, and so on. Students pick a card at random, and then paired with a partner, they dive into their roles, speaking and interacting in the target language. For example, one student could play a lost tourist asking for directions, while the other plays a local giving them guidance. The scenarios can range from everyday situations to more imaginative ones, depending on what you want to focus on in your lesson. The key to success with Roleplay Roulette is in the preparation. Having a diverse range of scenarios can cater to different interests and language levels. For beginners, simpler interactions with basic vocabulary work best. But for advanced students, you could introduce more complex situations that require a wider range of vocabulary and grammar. Start with familiar everyday scenarios that students can easily relate to. This builds confidence and makes it easier for them to get into character. As they become more comfortable with the activity, you can introduce more challenging and unique scenarios. Another great strategy is to encourage students to develop the scenario even further. For instance, after the initial interaction, they could switch roles or add a twist to the situation. This not only keeps the activity fresh, but also encourages students to think on their feet, enhancing their language skills in a fun and engaging way. Role-play roulette is an opportunity for students to immerse themselves in different roles, explore various cultural contexts, and most importantly, have a blast while learning. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these activities are you most excited to try in your next class? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, if you're looking to expand your teaching toolkit, check out one of the videos YouTube has handpicked just for you. Happy comprehensible input!